Welcome. This is Uncommon Sense, a podcast presented by the Heshi CPA Knowledge Center. The center is an initiative of the CPA Education Foundation, the charitable arm of the Chartered Professional Accountant profession in Alberta. Our episodes feature conversations with Alberta CPAs sharing their insights on a wide range of timely topics. Alberta CPAs work in every part of the economy and volunteer their time and expertise in virtually every community in Alberta. With each episode, we bring you voices and perspectives that reflect the diverse knowledge and contributions that CPAs bring to our province. Hello, and welcome to this episode of Uncommon Sense. I'm Jessica DeGroot, manager of the CPA Education Foundation. In recent years, the concept and practice of mentorship have become commonplace in all types of businesses and organizations. Whether done on an informal or an organized basis, mentorship is a win-win for everyone involved. Mentees gain insight and knowledge that they might not have gotten from textbooks, while mentors can stay current by learning about new techniques and practices that different people bring to the workplace. As well, being a mentor helps strengthen a person's leadership and teamwork skills. At CPA Alberta, the regulatory body for the Chartered Professional Accountant profession in Alberta, a mentorship program has been established that is making a positive difference in the lives of many Alberta CPAs. CPA Alberta's Career Development Mentorship Program is designed to build meaningful bridges between established CPAs and those who are navigating their professional pathways. Whether they're early in their careers, exploring new roles, or seeking guidance on how to grow as leaders, the program creates a supportive environment where communication, collaboration, and shared learning become catalysts for genuine professional growth. The program is structured to be accessible and rewarding for both mentors and mentees. Participants receive training to help them build strong, effective mentorship relationships. Ongoing support is available from program coordinators, and the overall commitment is manageable. Mentors and mentees are expected to invest a minimum of about 3 hours per month over the course of the experience. On this episode of Uncommon Sense, I'm joined by one of those CPA Alberta program mentors. She is Deepa Mittimani CPA. Deepa is a Canadian CPA and a chartered accountant from India with over 20 years of experience in finance, leadership, and operational transformation. Originally from Pune, India, she immigrated to Canada in 2013. She currently serves as Chief Delivery Officer at Elevate Financial Group, overseeing CFO services delivery and managing a team of CPAs providing diverse advisory services. Deepa is entering her 5th year as a mentor with CPA Alberta, guiding candidates through the emotional, technical, and strategic challenges of the CPA journey. She is also a mentor with the Calgary Region Immigrant Employment Council, an organization dedicated to supporting internationally trained professionals as they rebuild their careers in Canada. Deepa also runs a YouTube channel called Canada CPA Online Academy, dedicated to supporting writers of the CPA profession's common final examination, particularly writers who are immigrants. But that's only the beginning of Deepa's bio. She's also an accomplished artist and author. Deepa's paintings have been showcased in Calgary through various exhibitions. She is also an author of several books, including poetry, parenting, and fiction. Our focus for this episode is on Deepa's history as a mentor, but given her remarkable range of interests and activities, I think that there's going to be a lot more to talk about with her. So let's get started. Welcome, Deepa.
Thank you so much for having me.
So we always do or open our episodes by asking the guest to share a piece of uncommon sense. Do you have some uncommon sense to pass on to our listeners? That could be a piece of advice you once received that has meant a lot to you or something like that.
Ooh, I love that question. I think my uncommon sense advice is coming from a country song. It says, "When was the last time you did something for the first time?" I think when we were kids, we are constantly exploring, trying new things, just learning, being curious about things. I don't know what happens when we just grow up and get stuck into doing things as is, and life gets boring. So I think just keeping that learning antenna on constantly is my uncommon sense for the readers. And it doesn't have to be like a rocket science learning. It could be just like try a new recipe, or I'm learning the Gen Z lingo these days, how to say 6 7, or like when to say. That is life just becomes joyful when you're in learning mode.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Pick up some new terminology from the kids.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for that, Deepa. Let's begin our conversation by learning a little bit more about you and your professional background. What exactly led you to learning your CA designation in India and then, of course, becoming a CPA in Canada?
Both my parents were accountants, so the environment at home was very like dinner table conversations were like budgets and whatever economic updates or whatever my dad is doing in his sales tax audit that day, that type of conversations happened. So I was like naturally inclined towards the profession. So by grade 7, 8, I had like decided that I want to be a chartered accountant. So I enrolled like in a fast track program. I was a chartered accountant by age 21, went to the industry, had a good career. I was like a finance manager in an MNC telecom sector when I left India. Then I moved to Canada in 2013. By then I was married, 2 kids. So I decided to take a break here after coming to Canada. That break had other plans, definitely. It got a little bit extended up to 2018. So in 2018, when I decided that, okay, kids are in school, I want to join back in the profession, that's when I realized it's just not easy as an immigrant to get a job in Canadian market. After a lot of search, finally I had to start as a junior accountant at like a 50,000 salary. I was kind of hoping I would just, write this out. Someone would see my worth. I'll get a role like a controller, CFO of my level. But 2 years of trying and I was just hitting the wall. I was hesitant to pursue the CPA designation at that time because of all the kids' responsibilities, just the self-doubt of, am I too old to study, and just designation level stuff, do I want to take that on? But then 2020, COVID hit, the world hit a pause, and I said, let's do it. I enrolled under the MOU program, and September 2020, if you remember the hotel CFE, I was the one, I gave that. And I think my career trajectory just shifted after the designation. It was like, again, fast forward on a fast track, and here I am today.
That's great. Well, congratulations, and good for you for persevering. It must have been a little bit frustrating at times, just kind of feeling like you have so much experience from working as a chartered accountant in India and then coming here and feeling like you kind of have to start over.
Yeah, it was definitely frustrating at the point. But I'm at the same time, I think I'm super thankful for the people who gave me opportunity. Like, even if it was a junior accountant role, I remember the interview. The CEO asked me, don't you think you're overqualified for this job? And I said, I know I am, but I want to start somewhere instead of just sitting, waiting. I just want to give it a shot and kickstart my career again.
Yeah. Did you have a mentor yourself at some point in your career journey, or did perhaps your parents kind of act as a mentor for you?
Yes, definitely. My dad is a big mentor for me every step of the way. But in formal mentorship role, I never had like a formal mentor as such. I have always learned from my seniors, juniors, partners, everyone and around me. But I think I learned the most from the books that I read, the YouTube, the podcasts that I listen to. I think all of those have shaped me who I am today. I read like a lot of biographies and just learn the lessons from them. And it's just those are the most amazing mentors. I think I'll just learn from their stories. I think when I was writing the CFE, I remember I was reading um, Andre Agassi's biography, Open, a beautifully written biography, I would say. I'm not a sports fan, but I just love his biography. I think initially when he started, he started very young at like practicing tennis, and he says like, I'm practicing. He's practicing like 2,500 balls per day, and it's just a lot for a child. And then he's like, I hate tennis. That's his first sentence. I hate tennis. Everything in my body screams I hate tennis. And then I still hit one ball, then I hit three. Something in my gut just tells me, don't quit, Andre. And I just keep going. I think writing or practicing day two cases for 5 hours with kids at an age in like I was in 39, 40. It was just hard. And I think Andre give me that hope, that dedication, that grit. I think I learned from him. So those are my mentors, I would say.
Yeah, we definitely live in a time where there's a wealth of knowledge available from sources like you mentioned, books, podcasts, YouTube videos. Not all of it accurate, of course, but there's so much good stuff out there that it's great to hear that you were able to use all of those for learning opportunities and really be able to gain inspiration from some of them. So why did you decide to become a mentor for those who were embarking on the CPA journey, or perhaps even other career paths? Did your own experiences as an immigrant kind of influence your decision to be a mentor?
Yes, definitely. It's like when I was going through all this, trying to search the job or just trying to decide whether I need the designation again or not, I wish I had someone to talk it through or guide me through that phase. So when I became a CPA, became a CFO, I was like, I want to give back to the community somehow, but I was not sure what it would look like, how I want to give it back. And then if you're familiar with the Japanese concept of ikigai, I think that is when I tried to map that. So it's about finding your purpose or reason that just makes you jump out of bed in the morning. And so ikigai is based on finding your purpose based on 4 pillars. So basically what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and then what you can be paid for. So when I tried to map myself and my thinking on all these 4 pillars, I think mentorship was sitting just right in there in the center and just staring back at me that, okay, like what took you so long, that type of thing.
So what kind of supports and services do immigrants in particular need from mentorship programs? I know when it comes to navigating the accounting world and especially the CPA designation, it can get quite complex with like the MOU and different agreements and things like that. So does that kind of play a part in what you do as a mentor?
Actually not.
No?
Actually, every like mentorship relationship, when we start, every mentee asks me, Deepa, what should I do, like a technical course, or what should I do as a course, But most of the time, it's not technical at all. It's the soft skills part of it, or just the culture part of it that you need to navigate. The Canadian experience required tag. So it's like you need a job to get the experience, but you need the experience to get the job. It's like that vicious circle. How to break that circle? And then I think, just as an immigrant, we just pack our life in 4 suitcases, cross the border, but no one really hands out like okay, this is the rule book. It has its own unwritten rule book that we call a culture. And it's not just Canada. Like every country has that culture aspect. So especially in Canada, I think people or immigrants need to learn, say, how to, for example, how to give a feedback which is not too direct, or the coffee culture or networking side of things, or how to have the small talk where the small talk is the big talk sometimes. That's how you like develop the relations that you need in your work. So technically, all these mentees are very strong. It's just that fine tuning that is required, I feel.
Yeah. So just a lot of differences in culture and maybe ways that we do things a little bit differently here in Canada that they might not be aware of.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you tell us about your time so far volunteering as a mentor in the CPA Alberta program? How does the program work exactly, and what sorts of mentees have you worked with?
So I'm entering now my 5th year as a mentor. It has been incredible journey so far. So the program runs from September to March, but the applications open like in May, and the mentors and mentee both submit like their profile or what they're looking for, or from mentors' perspective, what they are good at or what they can mentor. And then like the team at Career Services, they do like a matching of based on the profiles. I will give a shout out to Xavier and Simon and the team. They are excellent at their job. I would say it's like a professional matchmaking services. They are they find the right partners to work with, and then the relationship starts, and then it's up to the two of them how they want to take, how many times they want to meet, what they want to cover, and then they have that 6 months to explore that relationships. I have worked with a lot of different types of mentees issues. But the most common are, say, immigrants looking for their first role or just trying to adjust in this culture, or women CPAs looking for a leadership role, going for, say, CFO or a partner, or new moms sometimes navigating the eternal question of how to balance work and life. I have taken a sabbatical for almost 7 years. So sometimes I can provide an angle of how to come back to workforce on that side of things. So there are a lot of things that we work with.
Yeah, that's amazing. So there's definitely a lot for them to gain through the mentorship relationship. And you can provide a lot of knowledge for them. So that's wonderful.
Yeah.
In your view, what are the attributes, skills, and characteristics of a good mentor?
I think for a mentor, I would say the very first thing is like listening. God has given us 2 ears, 1 mouth. So the selection is very clear that listen first. And because it's always, there is an urge to, immediately jump to conclusions or give them ready-made answers. But I think as a mentor, you have to listen first. Second thing I would say is sharing the scars, because I think the social media is very misleading these days. It's like all positive. If you open LinkedIn, it's like, okay, this person got a job, this person got a funding, he's doing well, she's doing well. But no one is sharing like the failures, or it's okay to struggle. It's okay to have like a job which is not ideal at this point. So having that discussion and just normalizing the struggles is important. And I think the giving an honest feedback, like the very real feedback, is also very necessary. As a mentor, you don't have to be nice, but you definitely have to be always kind. What I mean by that, I think it's kind to tell you that you have food stuck in your teeth, that type of thing. Yeah.
What do you gain in particular from serving as a mentor? And would you recommend doing this for other CPAs that maybe are considering becoming mentors?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yes. Rather, one of my mentees, she became a mentor. She felt inspired going through her journey and the change that she witnessed. And then, yeah, she wanted to take that step and she became a mentor. As I said, this is my ikigai. This is the most, I think, selfless thing that I'm doing. So like you think I'm giving, but I think I'm receiving way more. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a win-win for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you think of one specific moment or experience that you've had as a mentor that has been particularly special or meaningful to you?
Every relationship is different. I think every mentee is special. But I would say like I recollect one incidents where we were ending the mentorship for the year, and the mentee said to me that, Deepa, I started this journey with like a lot of questions stating like, can I do this? Can I become a CFO? Can I? There were a lot of can I's. And then at the end of journey, I just feel empowered and I feel I can. And it is just a juxtaposition of one word, you can say, from can I to I can. But I think that has just changed the world for me with that one switch in the thinking, the perspective. And for me, it was like, witnessing like a caterpillar to butterfly moment, if you could say. It's just heartwarming to witness these type of moments in these relationships. I'm thankful.
I think it's really interesting that like a lot of times when we think of a mentorship or mentor-mentee relationship, I think it's common to think of a young student, like maybe like a university student seeking out maybe their first mentor in a professional setting. But I feel like it really ties back to your piece of uncommon sense and being a lifelong student, because you mentioned that, you're mentoring people who are pursuing being a CFO and very high level positions. So, it's something that anybody at any level can benefit from.
Oh, yes. Rather, I think everyone that comes to, not everyone, but like what mentees I have mentored, they have been, it's like after a certain point, you feel stuck or in a pattern where you don't know how to get out. And those are like at senior positions, or you have your run for 10-15 years and you don't know where you want to go, or you want to change something. So yeah, it's helpful at every single step of your career, not just at the early journey.
So I want to shift gears a little bit in our conversation. And in my introduction to you, I mentioned that you have your own YouTube channel. So what is the purpose of that channel and what led to you creating it?
I think it was born out of frustration. It's like when I was giving my CFE. So as an MOU writer, it was just difficult because you're directly giving the CFE. You're pardoned the whole first few years, and then you give CFE. I was like, what is day one? That was my first question. What is day two? You have to start from that because the style of exam pattern is very different in India than from the case writing aspect. So I had no one to teach me like what am I doing. So that is again like I wish I had someone moment. So like when I not even passed, I gave my CFE on 10th and I created the channel on 17th of September. I think most sane people would wait until the results are out. But for me, the passion was just so strong and it's just been amazing. Like from mentorship, you can reach one person. YouTube reaches, thousands. And the comments I get, the people when I say, oh, I used your channel, thank you. It helped me pass CFE. I have made friends. Like I have had partnerships. It's just amazing journey.
Well, that's awesome. And of course, we can't end the episode without talking about your life as an artist, because I love that you have this side of yourself as well. You're an accountant and a CPA, but also a very creative person. So can you tell us about that part about your life?
Mm-hmm. So it happened accidentally. So remember the break we were talking about? I took like a sabbatical after landing in Canada. So I took a break, but was just not used to sitting idle. So I just started experimenting, just YouTube tutorials, Dollarama paints, just art and crafts. And then posted some of the work on Facebook. People said, oh, please teach this to our kids. So I took art classes for kids, then did exhibitions, and I became an artist just out of random. Similarly with I have always been an author. I have been writing for my whole life, poetry and fiction and that kind of stuff. But after pursuing the art, I wanted to create something for kids. So I wanted to combine my art and my writing into one project and for kids. So I created 3 children's books and illustrated them and published them on Amazon a couple of years ago.
Oh, that's amazing. On the surface, it might seem like the 2 career paths couldn't be more different from each other, being a CPA and an artist. But do you think that there are some similarities or shared skills between the 2 pursuits that people might not realize?
I always get like a shock reaction when I tell people that I'm a CPA and an artist. I think I'm trying to balance both sides of the brain, left and right, making the full utilization, I guess. But I think similarities it's rather I bring my the methodical, structured, discipline type of approach that CPAs have. I bring that into my art, and then I bring the creativity into my CPA role. So I keep cycling both into each other, and I think both professions require a very strong storytelling aspect. So whether as a CFO, I'm narrating the story to the board, or in a painting, I'm narrating the story to my viewer, I think both needs an expert imagination.
Mm-hmm. No, I love that. Are your kids artistic at all? Did this kind of stem, the painting and stuff stem from sitting down and doing arts and crafts with them when you were home with them?
Yes, because my younger one was with me at that point. So she's very artistic. She follows. She's like me. She will crochet. She will do like a painting and drawing, and she's very artistic in that way.
That's awesome. It's nice to have something like that in common that you can enjoy together.
Yeah.
Are there any mental health or personal growth benefits that come from your involvement in the arts?
I guess just the joy of after finishing a piece or like creating something is different. Like you don't get that joy from preparing a balance sheet or a report. It's like that. You
Maybe some
cannot
people do. I
compare
don't
that
know.
joy. I don't know, maybe some, but it's different. Like I have done both. I have tried both, right? But I feel it's just that creative satisfaction is just very different. And like creativity has such a it's the flow state, how you define it. It's just like something divine flowing through you, and it's like sheer madness of that just being in that zone. I can't explain it fully what it is, but it's just that flow state that is just amazing.
I have one last question for you. So, whether as an accountant, a mentor, an artist, where do you draw your inspiration from? And what keeps you going strong with such a busy and diverse life?
I think I would like to circle back where we started. We started with, it's like just keeping that learning antenna on. So inspiration is everywhere. I think the real question is, are we open to receive it? Is your learning antenna on, and is it tuned for receiving? So like throughout this conversation, Jessica, I'm watching you. I'm trying to see how you respond. How do you ask follow-up questions? What can I learn when I'm other side of the table on my YouTube channel, Or there is just a light that is reflecting here, which is giving me an inspiration for my next still life. So inspiration is not rare. It's just everywhere. Right now, I think the real issue is people are overwhelmed by the noise and the clutter that is around us. And I think for me, I started meditating 5 years ago, and that gave me like a beautiful perspective towards life. Now I try to do everything with like an extreme involvement, but with total detachment. What I mean by that is like give everything you have to the process, but release your grip on the outcome. Don't think about how many likes this will get, whether this painting would be sold, or you just don't attach outcomes to your efforts. Just do the work with full heart and just let it go. And then one day at a time, one step at a time, and the life just builds beautifully. I think, yeah, that's what I feel.
Yeah, I love that. And I love your encouragement to try new things. I find too, as I'm a mom as well and a working professional, and I find if I don't make time for the creative hobbies that I enjoy, even though I might be overwhelmed, it somehow just takes a little bit of a load off because you enjoy it so much and it just kind of fills your cup. So I think that, no matter how busy you are, like you mentioned, taking time to do something like that or learn something that you've really been wanting to try, you might be surprised how fulfilling it can be.
Yeah, sure. It gives back the spark in your eyes.
Well, thank you so much for that, Deepa, and thank you for being such an amazing guest today. It's been really fascinating to learn about your experience as a mentor and, of course, your life as an artist and community volunteer. And thanks as well for the commitment and dedication that you bring every day to supporting the mentees and newcomers to Canada. That work really is so important. So thank you again and best wishes. I will definitely follow your artist journey. And where can people find you if they were looking to learn more about your art or your YouTube?
So for my art, they can follow me on Instagram at Deepa Mittimani. For YouTube channel, they can follow the channel at Canada CPA Online Academy. And anything, mentorship, CPA, CFO, all that side of things, they can follow me on LinkedIn.
Wonderful. All right. Thank you so much, Deepa.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed our conversation today.
If you're an Alberta CPA and you've been thinking about getting involved either as a mentor or looking to support fellow CPAs in their professional growth, or as a mentee ready to gain insight, direction, and support, now is the time to take note. 2026 registration for both mentors and mentees opens on May 4th, and the new program starts in the fall, marking the beginning of a new cycle of connection, growth, and professional development. Contact CPA Alberta for more information. The Uncommon Sense podcast is presented by the CPA Education Foundation and funded by the Heshe CPA Knowledge Centre. The Knowledge Centre was created through a generous donation by the late Brian Heshe. Brian was a distinguished Albertan, business leader, CPA, educator, and community builder. His generosity and commitment to education underpinned his good works across Alberta throughout his lifetime. The opinions expressed on Uncommon Sense do not necessarily reflect the views of the CPA Education Foundation. We would like to acknowledge that CPA Education Foundation offices are situated on the traditional Treaty 6 and Treaty 7 territories and Métis Nation homeland. The Foundation acknowledges that we reside on traditional and ancestral territories of many Indigenous, First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. Their histories and culture influence our community to this day. The Foundation is committed to helping build a province where Indigenous people and their voices and experiences are heard, valued, respected, and celebrated. Technical and recording services for this podcast provided by Wolf Willow Studios in Edmonton. If you enjoyed this podcast, please be sure to like, subscribe, and tell your friends about us. If you have any comments about the podcast, write to us at cpaef@cpaalberta.ca. To learn more about the CPA Education Foundation and the Heshe CPA Knowledge Centre, visit cpaalberta.ca/foundation. You can also follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. Just search for the CPA Education Foundation.